Hey guys, what's up? Light here and welcome back to the channel. Very glad to have you. So, what do you get when you mix me with the most broken tank in the game? Especially when I YOLO it in every game. Well, keep watching to find out, because today we're going to be playing the WZ-113G FT, and as you saw my equipment, you see exactly what I run on it. I think it's like the perfect combination of equipment to make this, to maximize the potential of this tank. Even though, I mean, you can play this tank with basically like all HE and you'll still do pretty good. Like, this tank is just so broken at the moment, and I can't wait for it to get nerfed to the ground because it just gets spammed in tournaments and public matches all the time. But as you see here, we're in mines, right? Cutting right into the gameplay. I like shooting out the crossing in the middle, and as you see, we get a really nice shot into the batchet as he goes up, and he's pretty much eliminated instantly out of the game. And it gives now our mediums a better chance to win the top, because they can cross at the top safely. Like, just looking at their lineup, they don't have anything else to nuke them that bad compared to those two clips from the Progetto. So, you know, they're already down one clip. You just have another clip there to pretty much easily eliminate, as they just ganged up on the Progetto there on the top. And now I can just make my move. I can go up and play in town, just because the hill's pretty much secure. I don't think anyone's going to peek there. And, you know, the E3 is probably going to be an easier kill for them to have together. And so I see a Type 71 and a T30. I'm like, wow, they're camping. But then I turn the corner and I see that the Type is AFK. And a lot of people are like, oh, you should never farm AFKs, yada, yada, yada. But, like, in scenarios like this where, you know, the game is stale right now and there's not really much going on and my team doesn't need me elsewhere, I can easily just get some free damage. Farm this Type 71, especially before he wakes up, because I feel like a lot of the times, a lot of people just load in late to the games, or their game crash and they're just reloading. As you see right now, he's getting back into the game, but, you know, he has a pretty nasty surprise that as soon as he gets in the game, not even 5 to 10 seconds, he's already basically a one-shot. And I believe he's going to get eliminated soon. So we're able to get some really free damage in him. Create another angle, you know, of crossfire, and yeah, the girl ends up picking him. And he wasn't even alive in the game for, you know, as soon as he opened his app again or what have you, whatever issue he had. Wasn't even alive for, I want to say, 20-30 seconds. So here I'm going for blind shots from where the T30 was last spotted, and I'm just going to chill here. I mean, there's really not much I can do than to go for these blind shots and see if I can get the T30 pretty low. If he keeps peeking there. I mean, if he's smart, he's not going to peek, knowing that, you know, he hears and he sees shells flying past that bush. But we'll see if I get those blind shots later on when I push up. But for now, I know that the, you know, 121 is pretty active. I know the T30 is active as well in that bush that I'm trying to blind shot. And, you know, the E3 is in the mid, right? And he's pretty much holding the hill solo. The thing is, this game is closer than what you thought, just because early on, as you saw, I mean, most of our mediums were pretty low crossing up to the hill, so their TDs did a very fine job nuking them as they were jumping the Progetto early on. And then you see the 92 one on my team saying, what am I shooting at? I usually typically have chat off, but sometimes I turn it on just to say something really quick, and then I'll turn it back off, or, you know, like, to help my team, give them instructions to win the game if, like, you know, I die pretty early or what have you, like, you know. But yeah, what I'm going to do here is push up to this T30 now, knowing that the E3 is mid. Well, I knew he was mid, but now knowing that the 121 is on the far right. And basically the maximum amount of tanks they can have here is 2. So I pop in the reactive, knowing that the T30 is most likely on my left hand side. And so I'm going to try not to give him the HE, as you see there. I knew there was only one place for him to be, and that was probably going to be on my left, where you see here. But the E3 is occupied, and the 121 is basically on the other side of the map, where he doesn't have any shots in me. So I'm going to just 1v1 this T30 here, knowing that, I mean, I have the far superior tank, up-tiered, more armor, a scarier... Oh, I wouldn't say a scarier gun, honestly. I think our guns are equally as scary, but everything else I have going for me. I mean, I have the insane armor. I just went for a nice angle for him to bounce a shell on me. And now I can focus on maybe this E3 here, so we're already looking at a great start. We're already at, like, almost 5k damage, and I'm going to peek over for an E3 shot here. But I did not expect him to turn around for me, honestly, knowing that, you know, he has a crown to worry about in front of him. And so I didn't expect him, so what I'm going to do here is just trade with him. I'll trade in that max shell any day of the week. But dude, that E3 hits like a truck. He almost matched my damage, my high roll, that is. And so what I'm going to do here, knowing that, I mean, he can easily kill me with one shot, I'm just going to take his attention, let the Kron get the easy kill. And now I'm going to focus on the 121 now, the last remaining tank. So I'm going to try to get a shot in here. I'm going to see if I can hit it. So he gives it to me pretty easy. I load the heat. No need to really aim in too much. Just get the easy heat shell. And I set him on fire, which is amazing. And I guess he didn't have any repair kits left. And then, yeah, our 92E1 picks up the finish. So very, very solid game for us. And as you see, I mean, you're going to see every game, my joystick is always to the top. There's not one game where I camp behind a TD bush for a long period of time or what have you. I just use this tank as a YOLOing machine. And you're going to see, I think I make some mistakes here and there, but like, this tank is so forgiving because you have so much armor, you have reactive armor, and you can just get away with so many plays that are considered not the best in other tanks. So, as you saw, mine's with the utmost aggression, right? Put in a really nice shot. We were pretty aggressive with our team, and then I just held left for a bit, just waiting for some info, and then I was able to push up and just be as aggressive as I could be. So here we are in Vineyards, right? I feel like from this spawn, the most logical play that you could make for your team is definitely contesting the A cap, because you can shoot out, you know, from the B cap. I mean, of course you can't see the caps that I'm talking about right now because it's on encounter mode, but on my right side, on that little hill right there with the house where the STB is, that's where you can get some pretty good shots on the corner where I'm going now, and you know, to cover A fights and stuff like that. So I'm gonna do exactly what I said I was gonna do right now, and I was thinking about going to the B cap, but I was just gonna push straight ahead and see if I can just get some really nice shots here on tanks that are trying to hold the A cap. So I see the Foch that's camping on the A bush, and I do want some shots at him, but unfortunately he's able to escape, and then I'm getting shot on the right, so it looks like their team is split. Maybe going town, and something hit me for 360 alpha, so I'm thinking maybe that's the Caro 45T in town. That's pretty much the only logical thing, because I don't think the STB would have went all the way to town that quick. So the T95 shot, and knowing that, I'm going to go peek over for a shot, because the only other threatening tank that can shoot me is a 4005, but he has terrible camouflage, so I'd easily spot that, and I already saw him in the middle, so there's no way that he can rotate far to the left that quickly. So I pretty much peeked the T95 when it was safe as he was on reload. And as you see, on top of the WZ-113G FT just being a really great tank to push, it has insane penetration with the buff on calibrated shells. And so you can load heat and pen anything that you pretty much have a difficult time penning before the newest update that we had. Now you can just pen everything like butter. So just load the goad, don't worry about anything else, and get the surefire pen. Don't waste your DPM just aiming a AP shot. Although, I mean, AP is also pretty nice to hit shots like that too, since the T95 is a tier 9 and it's not too heavily armored. But here we are looking at the IS-7, and we're going to keep pushing for really good angles on the left hand side. Since our team is going to the right, we always want to keep an angle crossfire. Just keep that in mind whenever you play the game. I feel like it gives you and enhances you with a better chance to win always. I thought an HE shell would have been enough, just because it was at the weak point of the tank, but I guess it wasn't. I probably could have shot AP and that's it. I just thought that someone else is going to get the pickup, so HE there was understandable. So here, you can see the accuracy of the WZ, right? It's not the best, right? But it's also not the worst. It used to be the best in the game because it did have the dispersion consumable for, you know, tank destroyer. Having that and then armor was really good, but you know, they decided to remove it, and understandably so. They buffed calibrated, and they gave it reactive armor, taking the dispersion consumable, so taking the dispersion consumable off. So I mean, it was a pretty good trade-off, but I think it just made the tank way too overpowered. And as you can see, I mean, I'm low health, but I'm still trying to push the tempo, knowing that the game's pretty much over. I've been pushing this entire game. As soon as I get an elimination, I take more map control, and there's no reason to be scared, especially in this tank. I go for snapshot here, but I'm not running supercharger, so the shell doesn't fly as fast as you would think. So yeah, just be wary when you're sniping. You gotta lead your shots a bit more. You can't really go for these crazy snapshots at distance, because the connection from point A to point B isn't the strongest unless you do run supercharge on it, supercharger. I kind of, you know, take it off to run reticle, not reticle calibration, refined gun. Alright, so here I get an easy HE. There's no need to snapshot it. I take my time, I aim it in, And now the STB is going to try to circle me, it looks like. I didn't think he was going to because it just didn't make sense. If he circles me, he's just going to go in front of all my guns and get eliminated. But unfortunately, I wasn't able to hit that shot just due to the fact that he was just out of range from my my gun rotation. And so yeah, he wanted to circle me and get some shots at me, but unfortunately, I mean, he just goes in front of all the other tanks and basically gives everyone else damage but me, so that kind of sucked. But pretty good game from us. I mean, again, non-stop aggression, highest damage on our team, and we were able to lead a really good push on the A side, knowing where everything was and just being aware of you know, what I can take and when I can take it, basically. So in the next update, they're going to give this tank PBR. They're going to nerf it heavily to the ground, and it's not going to be usable in tournaments and stuff like that, but I still think it's going to be a decent TD. And yeah, it's just not going to play like a heavy, which I don't think TD should even play like one in the first place, unless you're like a Minotauro, where you're heavily handicapped, right? But you have some pretty good hull armor, and you have a autoloader, so I mean, with a traversable turret. So here we are in Desert Sands, and again, I'm just gonna push as aggressive as I can, see what shots I have, knowing that I can withstand a few shells with my reactive armor if I spot anything, and knowing that my team's right behind me. Typically, I mean, you don't want to do any YOLOs like this when you're alone. Just look at, you know, what you have behind you, look at the enemy lineup and see what they have. I saw that, you know, most of their team was compiled with mediums and TDs, so the likelihood of them meeting us here isn't the strongest, and if they did, my tank is far superior than theirs for any sort of brawl, especially with my teammates. And so I let my teammates go hunt the grow down. There's no reason for me to go chase the grow, and I'm gonna go put in a shot here on the WZ on the side. It would have been awesome if I ammo racked him, but yeah, again, another weak point of this tank. Actually, not another, I think the only weak point of this tank is that it does get easily ammo racked. The chances to ammo rack this tank are easier than others, basically. So I feel like the most broken tanks in the game always have that kind of like downfall where, you know, the rack isn't healthy like other tanks. I remember when the TP meta was a thing, the E5 meta was a thing. Those are all pretty amazing broken tanks, but the biggest downfall was just getting ammo racked, or that chance to get ammo racked pretty easily. Alright, so I know like the game's pretty much over just because of our positioning and just the dominance that we've displayed this game with our team and me just pushing everywhere. So I'm going to get away from the LT gun, and it looks like there's going to be two tanks behind me, so I'm just going to YOLO straight in front for this STB, but I'm going to get into cover. I'm going to pop in my reactive here because I know the STB is probably going to shoot me once, as you did there, and I'm going to keep hunting down that STB. But since I'm pretty healthy, I can ignore the Leo for now, get a sick HE here in the LT, and then I can hunt the Leo now after this and see if I can either get him for myself or drive him to my team. Okay, so he drives into our team, trying to avoid me and the other tank, and now I'm going to go for an HE here in the 50B. I'm going to aim it in all the way, just because the tank isn't too accurate, you know, for snapshots and stuff, unless you're pretty blessed with RNG, you know, on a specific day. But, you know, two amazing HEs in a row, and really nice end game there for us. Again, just pushing the tempo, taking the map, you know, when the enemy team is giving it to us, and not doing anything by myself. If I'm going to YOLO, it's going to be, you know, with the support of my team and stuff like that. And that's what I want to show you today, right? Like, just because I'm YOLOing in the WZ and playing super aggressive and not really caring about my HP and all that, just to show you that this tank is broken, doesn't mean I'm going to YOLO by myself against like 4 to 5 tanks. I mean, it wouldn't make any sense. Like, you can be broken all you want in the tank you're running and stuff like that, but like, nothing's going to save you from 5 tanks putting you in a really deadly crossfire and having all the time in the world to circle you, and yeah, you're just going to be an easy elimination. So here again, I'm just telling everyone to attack. I already had this YOLO mentality for this gameplay, you know, to show you guys I'm going to YOLO every damn game in this thing. And yeah, I don't really know why this tank didn't get nerfed sooner, but it's whatever. I'm just going to go to the corner, get a really good angle here, see if I can get a shot in this E4, but I'm spotted, so I don't think I'm going to make that poke. So I see the E4. I was going to shoot him, but the Batchat is a more deadly tank. And if you have any opportunity to shoot any lights or mediums, especially early in the game, as you saw, the E4 just got ammo-racked. But as I was saying, if you have any shots to shoot lights and mediums over heavies and TDs, do that please, because you know this current meta, and I think metas in pubs really, is pretty much mediums and lights, right? Like those tanks are the ones that guarantee wins and losses the majority of the time, just because you know they drive the flanks, they get crazy crossfires, and unfortunately I don't know where that shot went. It was just a pretty bad shot, I guess, by me. And so I'm just gonna spam gold. The C100 has zero chance to angle his turret. As you can see, he's at a pretty good, decent angle for a lot of other tanks that don't have penetration like me. But I just load the heat, load the gold, and get the easy penetration. I saw that the girl was also trying to use the E100 to basically side scrape off, shoot, get into cover, which is pretty cool. I mean, I've never seen random players do that. And so saw the E100 shot. I know the girl's reloaded, but I'm gonna angle to him last second, get the bounce from him, and I'm gonna put my last shot on the E100. I was tracked there, but now that I got in tracked, I'm gonna just back off, see if my tanks want to go in front of me, but you know they don't. So I'm just gonna get an easy HE here in the 50B, get the elimination, and now I can pretty much ignore the Batchat. And so what I'm gonna do here, knowing that I mean the game's pretty much over, I don't mind taking the second shot from the Foch, as I see he has the gun. I can just pop the reactive. He has the autoloader gun, so I can just pop the reactive and just get a higher alpha shot in the 140. But unfortunately the 140 tracks me. Looks like he doesn't have the best aim, and so I couldn't really get this last shot off here in the Foch. The Foch is just so quick, especially with that speed boost. He was able to get away from me, and so I am going to pick up the elimination, but it's just not going to be for, you know, the damage that I wanted. So we hit the nice snapshot there, and we end the game pretty much a stomp on the heavy side. It did help us that we got the ammo rack on the E4, but I mean, what can you really do, right? Like, there's not much else you can do in that scenario where you're just getting pushed by a WZ, and you know, all you have to do is just take it and you know, like, send your pairs, because there's not much else you can do to stop a YOLOing WZ with the entire enemy team, you know, behind them, ready to brawl you. So here we are in Normandy. I think this will be the last game of the gameplay. Again, I'm going to repeat it, I think, one last time, just in case you haven't watched the previous videos. I think I have like 3 to 4 previous videos. And yeah, I'm just going to leave the gameplay from 20 to 25 minutes, so I don't want to leave it too long, because at that point, again, you can just stream and enjoy more time there, I'd say. So I'm going to spot middle, see if I can get an early shot on anything towards my left hand side, if they're spotted, or towards the middle, anyone going town. So I see the 54E1. I see he's crossing to the left, and usually when a tank or two crosses, you know, to go to the left, most of the team is there, but you can never be too sure, really. So I see the concept there, and that gives me more incentive to push, you know, the rider, just to have to more control mid, because they have so many tanks on the left already. Well, that I predict are going to be there, because I mean, having a concept, a heavy basically with your mediums, means that the majority of the team is there. So I'm going to try to go for a shot on the T54E1. But unfortunately, the tracking goes to the T55A, and yeah, I was not able to hit that shot because it pretty much ruined the still shot I had on the 54E1. So I'm gonna again push the tempo, try to take map if I can. I know that, you know, there's a threat maybe with a Yag on my right and a Foch, but I see the Yag here. I go for the snapshot, thinking he's not gonna push up, because I mean, I don't know if that's the play to push up in a TD towards the middle of the map, but yeah, so I hit a pretty bad shot there, and so I'm gonna put in a shot in the FE, and it seems like I'm getting clipped out by something, and it looks like the 54E1 turned back to cover the 215B. So as you can see though, I mean, I took 3 shots, right, and I'm still pretty healthy. So like, reactive armor is just insane. I forgot to add that the reactive armor also got buffed, so you take less damage for shots you take during reactive popped. So I mean, I had an accurate shot there in the super conk, but I don't want to spend time aiming it, so I just switched to heat, get the easy pen, get some similar damage compared to my regular AP. So I mean, there's no stress there. Here I wanted to shoot the 215B, but he dips down, and then I'm just gonna put the shot in there. It looks like the 54E1 is still sniping me, so I just have to be wary of him and try not to lose too much HP. But since I have my reactive armor on and ready to go, I'm just gonna use it. If the 54E1 wants to snipe me, cool, that's fine. I'm just gonna get the elimination on him. And as you saw, the armor with the reactive, basically I can make those types of pokes that I can't really make with other tanks, knowing that I'd probably get my HP dwindled down much faster with other tanks. So here, I mean, the rock kind of gets in my way from, you know, kind of traversing, but he hits a really nice track shot at me. But unfortunately, he leaves a bit more tank than he probably would have wanted for me to shoot, and I was able to pick it up. Here, it looks like we're going to win on double caps. We're already at 900 caps, and I'm just going to start looking for damage to finish this game out. I put in a nice shot in the Foch. I would have loved the HE, but he was pretty aware knowing that I was on the side, so he didn't want to give it to me. Understandably so. And so he's going to back off, knowing that he doesn't have a clear shot on me. I can peek for a nice shot with heat. Again, I don't feel like aiming it in with AP. I just load the heat, and I'm just going to YOLO like a madman. I mean, I'm trying to get more damage, maybe in the Foch or something. So that's the only reason I get eliminated here. And yeah, I mean, again, YOLOing gameplay in the WZ. Not much else really to commentate on. And I'm really glad you guys came back to watch this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.